So all we're going to do today, because this is the first time we've talked about this, is just to get a general understanding of your diet, what you think about it, an idea of the sort of things that you already do. So I've just got questions, so if you don't mind me just asking you questions and you just be very honest.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that nutrition is very, very personalised. So my name is Dr Emma Stevenson. I'm a sports nutritionist in the Division of Sports Sciences in Northumbria University. So I do a lot of research in sports nutrition, but I also work as a consultant for a number of athletes, so helping them to develop the right diets for their training and competition. Generally, what do you think about your diet? I mean, is it something that you think about, or is it just food, something that's just there that you have to just fit in as and when you can? Or?
It's varied from time to time. So sometimes I really have thought about it when I've been really in my training, and then this time.
Seems like he's really clued up already. From his diet point of view, he seems to have a good, healthy diet already. So it's just a case of us working on specific points. So looking at how he recovers from exercise, what we can do before his training sessions to make sure he's fueled up, ready for that. Obviously, with his training program increasing quite a lot, his energy requirements are going to increase. So we need to just make sure that he's eating enough and the right things. Do you have control over your diet? Do you do your shopping? Do you do your cooking?
I don't, but I can.
You don't, but you can?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not a problem.
So is there somebody that cooks for you, or do you sort of just tend to grab things as and when you can? Or?
At the moment, there's someone that cooks for me, yeah.
I mean, football training and football matches will significantly deplete the body's energy stores. And the only way to refuel is to eat the right things. So if he doesn't get his diet right, he won't be able to train day on day and perform properly. Okay, so if you can give me an idea, this might not be so easy yet, but do you know generally how your sort of week is going to be in terms of training?
I will do.
You will do,
yeah,
so you'll be able to tell me that eventually.
Yeah. I believe we're getting a training diary together next week.
Right,
so
okay, so that'll be next week. Because what is really helpful when we're actually planning nutrition is to have a look at the types of sessions that you're doing, on what days you're doing them, and what time, because obviously what you have before and after training from a nutrition point of view will help you recover and help you perform during those training sessions. So if I've got an idea of a training plan, then I can say, right, it'd be best if you have this before that session, maybe before this session. So I wish him the best of luck, and it'll be really interesting to see his progress across the next few months and see how things go. It'd be great, yeah.
Okay, Arton, thanks so much. Nice to have completed your medical examination. Just to say, we give you a clean bill of health. We check particularly for your cardiovascular function, and I think that you're from what I can see from a medical perspective, you're in a really fit state. Obviously, when we get into the labs, you'll be able to pick up more your actual sporting fitness, but from a medical perspective, you really are healthy. You've got no cardiac history. I'm Professor Clair Gibson. I'm a Director of Research here. My science I do is basically neuroscience, but I'm also a medical doctor. So we do all the clinical work on people like Arton and anyone that needs clinical help, and direct the research in the laboratories here. We do a lot of basic research in sports and psychology to try and work out what makes a person behave optimally and function physically optimally, and we do a lot of work in the lab, but it's very important to do work like this to see how actually people go out in the actual real world. So this is a nice study, this to actually see on a case report type study on one person to see how they go and how they improve. So it's quite a nice study in the fact that it's linking what we do in our labs and what actually happens out there in the field. I think he's in a very good medically he's very healthy. You do really watch out, and this is before anyone goes for any sort of tests between club changes, you really keep an eye out for something like cardiac problems. There's a lot of episodes in history of soccer players in particular collapsing with heart problems. So we really had a good look at his history and his heart function. There he was nothing we picked up. If we picked up any abnormalities, we might have done a stress ECG. But in this stage, he was so healthy, he didn't need something like that at his level and his age. But he's really healthy, he's fit. He's got, we are a little bit worried about that one ankle of his, but we'll watch that during the trial.
The test begins in 5 seconds.
I think it's a great challenge. I think it's always inspiring when you have people like Arton that want to try and do something slightly different like this and push themselves to a level. I don't think you're going to get much happening in life unless you do something like that. To get to a premier level, obviously it's a huge, he set himself a very high bar that he's trying to get to. But I believe if he's got the will and the effort, he can get pretty close. So we'll monitor him as best we can. I know he's going some extra training, but really I think that the ball's in his court. If he really works it hard, we'll see how he goes. I think we can push his physical side. The ball skills are something that's innate to him where we'll have to go and see how he goes. But it's a great challenge, and beyond that, it makes people aware of what's needed actually to be an elite player. Because a lot of people think that they're just high-paid, spoiled people, but they really are doing things that are unbelievably skillful and at a high level of fitness. So if it brings awareness into things like that, I think it's a good thing that he's doing.